So, welcome back to the deep dive. Usually when we look at building a business online, we're sold this idea of a microwave.
Oh, yeah. The classic 60 seconds to financial freedom pitch.
Right. You put your idea in, punch a few buttons, maybe you buy some dropshipping course, and ding, you've got instant passive income.
It's a very comforting narrative for sure. But looking at the actual survival data in the analytical report we're digging into today, well, that microwave is completely broken.
It's an economic landscape that is honestly brutal. So today, for you listening, we're cutting through all that social media passive income hype. We're looking at the real architecture of digital resilience.
Exactly. The mathematical reality of why these businesses fail and the operational frameworks you actually need to survive.
Okay, let's unpack this. Just how bad is the baseline reality here?
I mean, it's the definition of a statistical graveyard. Up to 90% of digital startups just fail.
Wow, 90%.
Yeah. If you're venturing into highly speculative spaces, say crypto, that failure rate hits 95%.
That is insane.
It really is.
Yeah.
But the biggest killer isn't even a lack of talent or, a bad market. It's the massive asymmetry between expectation and reality.
Right, because people expect this linear, rapid growth. But take blogging, for example. The empirical data shows it takes an average of 22 months just to generate consistent income.
Barely consistent. Yeah.
And then over 4 years to actually make a full-time living.
Because that timeline is exponential, right? It's not linear. You sit there for months making absolutely nothing. You're just flatlining at the bottom of the curve before any compounding growth finally kicks in.
So the culture promises a microwave, but the math demands a slow cooker.
That is a great way to put it.
And because of that long, flat beginning, your initial burst of dopamine and motivation inevitably evaporates.
Totally. And when that motivation dies, amateurs hit what we call the trough of sorrow.
Which is when they usually quit, right?
Well, they succumb to shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
To avoid the friction of that trough, they jump from blogging to drop shipping to crypto. They are just constantly resetting to zero.
Always looking for the next microwave.
Exactly. And the real antidote to this is unyielding mechanical discipline. If we connect this to the bigger picture, look at solopreneurs like Justin Welsh.
Okay, what's his strategy?
He generates $1.7 million annually using what he calls a content operating system.
Wait, 1.7 million? What does that actually look like in practice?
It's a hub and spoke model.
Ah.
So his newsletter is the central hub, and his daily social media posts are the spokes drawing people in.
Ah, okay.
And he uses rigid writing formulas like the PIPS framework.
PAPS, what does that stand for?
Problem, agitate, invalidate, pivot, solution. It's essentially this psychological blueprint for writing. By following that structure, he guarantees high-quality output every single day, regardless of his emotional state.
See, I have to push back a little here.
Say,
Doesn't engineering such a rigid mechanical system kind of kill organic creativity? I mean, it sounds a bit robotic.
it sounds robotic until you realize that relying on inspiration is a luxury for amateurs. Systems don't kill creativity. They remove the friction of the blank page, so your creativity actually has a reliable framework to operate within.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, especially when you consider the report's mandate to escape the hobbyist paradigm.
Right, because if you treat your work like a hobby, the market pays you like a hobby, which is zero.
Exactly. You actually have to formally legalize the business. Like getting an Australian business number and navigating tax structures, that shifts your own psychology from a transient participant to an actual enterprise owner.
And that unlocks scale.
Right.
That formalization is a strict prerequisite. But there is a catch here. Engineering a perfectly consistent, legally formalized system is completely useless if you are building the wrong thing.
Or if nobody ever sees it.
Right. You need strategic clarity. What's fascinating here is Clayton Christensen's jobs to be done framework.
Oh, this is where we have to rethink why people buy things. Instead of that tired old cliche, people don't buy a drill, they buy a hole.
All right, the classic marketing line.
Yeah. But think about buying a productivity app. You aren't buying lines of code or even a digital to-do list. You are hiring that app to let you leave the office at 5 p.m. without feeling guilty.
Exactly. You have to stop guessing what to build and start engineering exact solutions for pre-existing demands.
And once you build that solution, you face the distribution problem.
Yep, getting eyes on it. And to overcome traffic deficits today, successful operators are turning to community-led growth in dark social.
Dark social. I mean, that sounds nefarious, but it just means places where traditional analytics can't track the traffic attribution, right?
Mhm.
Like private Discord servers or niche Slack channels.
Thought on. You can't just rely on Google searches anymore. You have to embed yourself in these private communities, offer genuine value, and organically drive word-of-mouth traffic back to your platform.
It's really the difference between a generalist racing to the bottom, charging $40 an hour, versus a specialist who truly understands the job to be done. A specialist might utilize AI tools like Jasper as a force multiplier to draft content faster.
Yeah, they save like 8 hours a week.
And then they scale their production, and suddenly they're commanding $250 an hour because they're solving highly specific problems with incredible efficiency. So what does this all mean?
Well, for the listener, it means success online requires playing a multi-year long game. Look at solopreneur Tony Din.
Oh, right. He spent 6 months building a complex app that completely failed.
Yeah. But instead of quitting, he pivoted. He used his newly acquired compounding skills and built Divutals.
Which is a highly targeted tool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it eventually hit $45,000 in monthly recurring revenue because he embraced the slow cooker.
Unplug the microwave. Which leaves us with this final thought for you. If digital success requires absolute singular focus over a timeline of years, what shiny objects in your own life are secretly disguised as initiative, but are actually just stalling your real progress?